Hi, so let's get ready to sew along with Maria Rosa and make Ciao Paola. This is a chic and contemporary silhouette featuring a slightly balloon-shaped leg that tapers gently into the hemline, creating a natural, stylish fold. This is designed for both comfort and effortless style. These trousers can be made over and over again with variations, so you can choose the patch pocket that you want on the back. On the front, it's got two deep side pockets, a front zip, and lovely darts at the back to taper this trouser. This is great in either linens or cottons for the summer, or a lightweight denim, or you might want to make it in the winter in a baby cord or a lovely lightweight wool. It's a great trouser for all year round. It's super comfortable and still stylish and chic. So let's get started. So we're going to start by pressing the interfacing onto the fly shield. So we're pressing this onto the wrong side, and then lengthways we're going to fold this and form a crease down the center, pressing so that the wrong sides are now on the inside. Now we're going to fuse the interfacing to the wrong side of the waistband. As you can see, the interfacing is positioned 1 centimeter away from the edges of the waistband, and it's covering only half the width of the fabric. Remember to press and leave for several seconds each time you are pressing a piece of the interfacing to the waistband fabric. Now going to fold the waistband in half lengthways so that the interfacing is now on the inside, and we're pressing a crease down the center of the waistband. Maria Rosa is going to start by working on the front part of the trouser, so she's overlocking the front fly area, the right side of the trouser, and the left side of the front of the trouser around the fly area and down to the crotch. Rosa's pinned right sides together the crotch of the front of the trouser and is sewing this seam, and she's stopping just 1 centimeter beyond where the fly facing is starting. Maria Rosa is pressing the area we've just sewn. She's folding and turning inwards the left side when the trouser is worn by 1 centimeter, and on the right side she's folding and pressing the fly extension towards the inside at the notch indicated on the pattern. Wrong sides together and the fly shield folded in half. We're overlocking along the long outer edge and across one short edge of our fly shield. We've attached and pinned the zip to the right side of the fly shield, and we're sewing this to secure it in place, stitching 2 to 3 millimeters away from the zip teeth. Now with the left side of the trousers, that's the area that we folded up by 1 centimeter. We're going to position the fly shield with the zip attached behind this fold, and we're then going to join the folded edge close to the teeth. We're top stitching the zip 2 millimeters from the folded edge on the left hand side. We're going to lay the right hand side of the trousers over the left, and we're going to align the right hand fold so it sits slightly beyond the center front, and we're pinning this to hold it in place. As you can see, we're making sure that our stitching line is covered, and then we are going to turn the trouser to the wrong side, and here we're going to pin the free side of the zip tape to the right hand facing, or our fly guard. We're right sides together, so we're now pinning along this area of the zip tape to secure it, and then we're going to sew along this area, being careful not to catch the rest of the trousers during this process. We're working on the wrong side of the fabric, and we're using the actual edge of our fly facing as a physical guide, and we're sewing down to the bottom. Then we're going to make sure that the fly guard is back in the right position, and we're going to turn the trouser to the right side, and we're starting to stitch with a back stitch at the end of our stitching line that we had done on the reverse side, and we're going to stitch across the bottom of the zip. We're going to work on the front pockets, so we're stay stitching around the curved pocket edge of the trousers. With right sides together and matching the notches, we're going to pin the lining pocket piece to the fronts of the trousers, right sides together, and we'll sew along the curved edge of the pocket with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. If you want, you can also snip in, as you can see Maria Rosa doing, up to the stitching line around the curved areas, and then we're going to understitch through all layers within the seam allowance on the pocket edges. This prevents the pocket lining rolling out and showing on the right side of the trousers. Now Maria Rosa's pressing the front of our trousers, the area where we have just been working on the 2 front pockets. Now with right sides together, Maria Rosa is pinning the pocket pattern piece 4 to the pocket bag pattern piece 5, and she's going to sew around the curved edges. Now Maria Rosa is overlocking around the curved edges that we've just sewn of our pockets. We're going to secure our pockets in place by pinning along the waistline and the side of the trouser, and we're going to sew within the seam allowance along the top of the waistline and along the side of the trouser up to the pocket opening. Now we're going to work on the centre back seam of the trouser. So here we're matching the notches and pinning this seam from the waistline to the crotch, and we're going to sew along the seam that the area we've just pinned with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. I'm going to form the dart. So on the back you've got notches that you're going to match together right sides and pin, and we're going to start, we'll also have marked on our fabric the balance mark where the dart will finish. So we're starting at the waistline and we're sewing down, and as we get to the balance mark we are sewing off the fabric. Now we're overlocking our centre back seam. Now we've finished both our darts and we've pressed these to the centre using the very end of the ironing board. We're going to start on the patch pockets. So we've chosen the type of pocket that we would like on the back. We've decided just to attach 1 pocket. So we're starting by overlocking around all the edges of this pocket. Now we're going to fold the top edge of the pocket to the right side of the fabric, aligning precisely at the level of the side notches. We're going to sew down both sides of this folded over section by 1 centimetre. As you can see, we've continued sewing all the way around the edge of the pocket with 1 centimetre, and this will provide a solid guideline to help us turn the edge accurately, especially useful for fluid linens that we're using. Now we're going to turn the pocket to the right side and we're going to press all the folded edges flat. So as you can see, the line that we stitched around the edges is a good guideline to help us to turn in the edge accurately. From the wrong side, we're going to sew along our overlocked edge of the top edge of our pocket to keep this in place. Maria Rosa is now pinning the prepared pocket in place exactly to the balance marks indicated on your pattern. She's pinning. You might wish to use a fabric adhesive glue temporary glue to hold these in place. And then she's sewing edge stitching around the sides and the base of the pockets. Remember to always start with a back stitch at the beginning and the end of the stitching line, specifically where the pocket opening is, because this is the area that's under most pressure. You also may want to choose to reinforce the top corners. So there's a way by either doing a little box shape that Maria Rosa's doing, or a triangle, or a bar tack, so you can add a little detail to the pocket as you're attaching it. Now Maria Rosa is joining the side seams, so she's pinning right sides together, the front and the back side seams, and this is special attention will need to be taken when you're sewing this seam around the pocket area. So Maria Rosa's pinning from the waistline down to the bottom of the leg, and then she will be sewing this seam with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. Now we're going to overlock both the outside leg seams that we have just joined. Now we're overlocking the bottom hem of our trousers. Now we are pressing our seams, our outside leg seams that we've just sewn and overlocked, and at the same time we're pressing our hem at the bottom of the trouser in place, ready for later. Previously, when Maria Rosa was pressing the outside leg seams, she was pressing these towards the back. Now, to give a little detail to the front of the trouser, she's working from the front side and she's top stitching along the outside leg of the trouser. Now we're going to join our inside leg seams. So we're making sure that the notches and the seams are joining in the right position. We're starting pinning at the crotch level, and we're going to then sew the entire leg, inside leg seam with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. Now we're overlocking our inside leg seam. We're overlocking the 2 seams that have been sewn together, but if you have a heavier fabric, you may wish to overlock the pieces before you join them. As you can see, on half of the waistband there is interfacing already attached. We're going to work on the other side of the waistband, and we're overlocking from the right side. As we're working with a fabric that's prone to fraying, we're also going to overlock the waistline of our trousers. And always remember that when you overlock, we're overlocking from the right side. If you don't have an overlocking machine, you could do this with a zigzag stitch. So now we're going to attach our waistband to the trousers. We are pinning right sides together, the raw edge that has not been overlocked with the trouser waistline, and we're sewing along here, making sure that all the notches are matching. Now we're pressing our waistband, and we're pressing the seams towards the waistband. Now we're going to finish off our waistband by stitching at the short ends of the waistband. We will then clip or snip diagonally the corners, so this will allow us to turn to the right side our waistband, and we're going to fold that towards the inside so that the overlocked edge of our waistband will be covering the line of stitching. Then you may wish to stitch by hand to attach the waistband, or machine stitch, or even top stitch, which is what Maria Rosa has decided to do. So from the right side, she's performing a continuous top stitch around the waistband's edge. Now we're working on the hem of our trouser, and as you can see, Maria Rosa has turned that up. She's now sewing along the edge of the seam, so that when she turns that round to the wrong side, the hem is blocked at the side seam. So now we're going to finish off our hems. We are pinning these in place to the length indicated on the pattern, and we are then sewing from the wrong side along the overlocked edge. So once we've marked the position of the buttonhole on the overlap, we're now creating the buttonhole. Final step, and we're attaching our button to the trouser. Hi, I'm Hilary, the designer of Ciao Patterns and Fabrics by Hilary. So if you've been watching the video of Ciao Paola, that's a great trouser that we've just brought out. I'm currently working on a new dress, Ciao Iris. This is the dress that I've got on with a lovely tie at the front, but it can also be tied at the back. So keep watching our videos. Keep a lookout on our website, Fabrics by Hilary, for the latest designs and our new fabrics. Happy sewing.